Okay. All right, so let's check the bracket. Vespasian advancing 2-0 over Charthras over just some interesting, interesting shenanigans. So report that. Okay, Vespasian's already doing. Good job, Vespasian. I'm proud of you. And on the other side of the map, the Enigmas Invon Lipwig series is taking forever. Apparently, they are playing Invon Lipwig, but 1-1-0, I guess. See what's happening. Jornhard 2-0 over Blitz. So let's see. The round, the semi or the quarterfinals are almost set. Um, all right, so round one is currently holding things up extremely. So Kerrigan and Tux are probably. Just gonna check Kerrigan Tux. Damn, I just missed them. Ah, I wanted that series too. That was gonna be one of our first higher level series. Kerrigan and Tux are both masters. Tux been masters for a while. Kerrigan Masters 2, Tux Masters 3, but decent player. Um, uh, All right, so we have Droneheart versus Epic. I need to fix some overlays right quick. And you know what? Can I get to it? Yeah, I can get to it in time. We can get it done. Epic is Protoss. Droneheart is Zerg. And let's swap scenes over and get into this game. Spawning in the upper right, in the red, for Jammet Gaming, it is Epic. And in the bottom left, in the blue, is the Zerg Droneheart. You know, sometimes you do an introduction and you're like, I'm gonna have something interesting to say on top of just it's them. And then you don't. So we have Droneheart here going for a drone scout, just making sure that there's no cannons out front. The Turkey Dano drone cannon rushing position. And we have a 2-gate coming from Epic, which will immediately be scouted. I would be surprised to see Epic cancel this, honestly. With the scout happening, it really does not have much of a chance of success. As Droneheart just parks the Overlord over to let Epic know that this is in fact scouted. But he's building 2 more gateways on his side of the map, and building a gas. So he's, okay, there we go. He does cancel the gates. The shenanigans have been foiled, and honestly, this is a pretty much on the direct route from the Zerg main where the Overlord spawns to the Protoss main. So if any spot was going to get scouted as a proxy 2-gate, this spot was. That being said, thanks for the follow, Babylon. I don't think I saw you earlier. And if I did, well, you get 2 shoutouts. So that's a fun time. Anyway, we have a Zealot being chronoed out, and this is 2-gate Cyber, which is, man, Epic's build is just really thrown out of whack at this point. And he did need to find an advantage. Droneheart is sitting at like 5k MMR. So, again, you do expect him to be in the significant advantage here. Now, we do have a Roach Warren coming down for Droneheart. It looks like he's going for the 21 drone Roach, the Ravager Ling all in, and that is a pretty good option here. We know that Droneheart only has 1 pylon in the natural. We know that there is 0 chance he has a Stargate or something that kind of shuts this down. And we know that he had a 2-gate that failed. So with all of that, kind of a good indicator that maybe, just maybe, all-inning him will be a good decision. So this will be, there is a delay, the speed will be delayed on this. Just about halfway done. Which means that the first push will be with Slowlings, but really the first push is with Roaches. And he's saving for, what is that, 3 Ravagers going to be? Or if you're just going to continue to build Roaches. So 2 Ravagers is 150, 3 is 225. Yeah, so he's saving for 3 Ravagers. An Overlord behind this just to make sure he doesn't get supply blocked, as he is at the moment. So maybe, no, that's not Epic's way into this. We do have a Robo on the way. So if this holds long enough, there's a chance Epic can do some fancy stuff with some Warp Prism Micro, some Immortals. But there's not even a shield battery of the natural. Epic actually really does not have any idea that this is coming. We have a... Where are the Zerglings? I thought there were more links on the map. Okay, they were at the 3rd. Zergling speed finishing just as this attack is going to happen. Now Epic down a lot. No tech units on the way. And, you know, Droneheart hitting right as Warp Gate is happening, but the pylon is going to go down in a second. And I think this may, in fact, just be it. The failed 2-gate. Epic trying to go for something in response, so trying to macro up behind it, but Droneheart says, look, if you get into a long game, maybe there's a chance you can do something to come back, but No, not like this. I'm just going to bust down your wall. I'm going to slaughter your women. I'm going to eat your babies. And I'm going to make you leave this game ASAP. Nothing the Immortal can do. And there we have it. GG, game 1 going to Dronehard. Alright, game 2 is going to be on Pillars of Gold. Okay. Alright, so, game 2, Epic looking to make a comeback. If he does decide to go for a proxy build like that, probably should not place it in the Overlord path. But again, this is not a match he's favored in. Although honestly, if he goes for Marjorie here, his timing is really good. He just doesn't have the micro. So it's a Jami that would maybe kill me or a Masters 2 player, but someone who's former GM has the micro to deal with a Marjorie as well as the macro. But we got a game, so we're going to go into it. And spawning in the upper right, in the red for Jamit Gaming, it is Epic. Is music on? Yeah, I just didn't hear it much. And in the bottom left, in the blue, representing himself and himself alone, it is Dronehard. And hey, I know this is old, but Tion, Bayo Internet is better than Blitz Internet. At least it's this line in. It's just Cox is terrible. So we do have Epic going for a gate expand, a gate scouts, and look, if you 12 pool me, I swear. But no no 12 pool, just a hatch gas pool, standard of standard builds, because really, Dronehard shouldn't be looking to cut corners here. Shouldn't be looking to, find some advantage that he needs to make sure that he wins. It's a 1.5 thousand MMR disparity. And that's not to say Epic can't take a game, especially if he goes for the Marjorie that he does oh so well. But he's not going to win like he did in the ATL the other day, where he went and he kind of smacked the guy because the Zerg didn't understand the counter. I guarantee you Dronehard is going to be able to scout this. He's going to be able to see the fact that, yes, I stop on 41 drones. Yes, I don't get a lair. Yes, I don't get upgrades. All those things, all those kind of skill gates, or knowledge gates, I guess, more importantly, that the Zerg needs in order to make sure they hold a Marjorie. Granted, Epic hits the timing, and this is kind of what I would expect him to go for here. But we shall see. We have 2 gas Cybercore on the way. Is that a wall? Or I should say, is that a wall with a stalker, maybe? I feel like that might be misplaced, but that might be a stalker wall. Okay. And yeah, we do have the stalker chronoed out, trying to just make sure that this Overlord is denied all possible scouting. And the Overlord is just going to sit on the edge like this Reaper Cliff. I don't know, just to make sure that they're going to scout later. Now, the Robo is going to go here. So Overlord is going to have to be able to penetrate the base a good bit. Overlord going in. Stalker going to find the Overlord, push it further towards, but the Overlord is going to run out. So what has... I always forget. Yeah, 2250. So about 400 gas has been mined. 300 gas has been mined by here. The Overlord Scout going to get cleaned up. Meanwhile, there is no wall here, so Trethris has to, or sorry, Epic has to quickly go to plug this. And otherwise, Lings are going to get in, and get in they do, which means that the Ling, as adeptly as Trethris. Okay, he's not going to be able to get the wall here. As adeptly as Dronehard has attempted to deny the scouting, the Lings will get in, and in doing so, they'll get a probe. Now, so if they build like this, every probe, every bit of mining time is important. There we go. So, second gate on the way. We expect to see Another 5 in quick succession. As Jornhard just stays on 2 base. Gets a Roach Warren. And he's going 2 base speed roaches. Actually, if there was a build that... Oh, this is Nidus, isn't it? Yeah, I think this is a Nidus build. But if there was a build that Jornhard, or that Epic could beat, could beat with the Marjorie build, 2 base roaches, that's a pretty good one, because you just won't have the production. It is on 40 workers, but there is the lair, which means gas is a little late, and roach speed. So this is not even Nidus play. This is just super defensive. But again, if there was ever a build that was gonna give give Epic a shot in this game, it is this one. He's gonna go wall off behind it, mining 2 of 3 on both gas just to make sure he's enough to continue to build sentries should that be needed. And the attack commences. The dayman comes. Nightman. Anyway. So we have Ravagers on the way. Roaches being built in mass. Not a lot of gas for Jornhard to put into this with the Roach upgrade and the lair. As Epic warps some more Zealots in, and he's hitting this late already. The goal is to hit it 5 minutes, and he is not across the map in 5 minutes. So that means, and the more he dallies, the further behind, or the less chance he has of holding this. That being said, though, this is not a big Zerg army. He's only up 14 army supply. So I know a supply block as well. So if he can get some sick force fields here, so good dodge. All right. So trading in favor of the Protoss at this point. Okay, so those are the force fields he wants. But Immortal under fire. Immortal getting taken down, and like that, this is not going to work. GG. Jornhard taking it 2-0. There we have it. Jornhard in the semifinals. Although, to be fair, he's kind of the expected winner of this match. We're going to go check some things. Jornhard, 2-0. Check. So Mabadi's finally going to be able to play. Amazing. And let's check in on Kerrigan. I missed it again by 2 minutes. Been in the lobby for 2 minutes. Kerrigan took game 1 against Tuxerino in an 11-minute game, which looks like... Really looks like this was a pretty close game. Kerrigan was just able to trade just a little bit better. So we're going to see what is in fact up. I think we just got to go to a break because we don't have any matches coming in any sort of short fashion. But congratulations, Jornhard. He has made the semifinals. He will play the winner. Let me pull the bracket up. Jornhard's going to play the winner of Kerrigan Tux, which are moving into game 2 right now. On the other side of the map, we are awaiting most likely the winner of Mabadi versus Iron Lung versus... So, Mabadi is going to play Ivan Lipwig as soon as Mabadi comes back. And then the winner of that, most likely Mabadi, is going to play Iron Lungs. Winner of that one plays Vespasian. And so on and so forth. So let's see, it was a 15, that Ivan Lipwig Enigmas series was a 15-minute ZVP. It was a 5-minute ZVP. And that was 4 gate, for just 4 gate blink stock roll in. And then game 1 was a 20-minute game, where M. von Lipwig was in a winning position for like the last 8 minutes. All right, so we're gonna go to brick as we wait to see wait to get games. Alright, so we are gonna go and do something while we wait. And go cast game 1 of Vespasian versus Ray because apparently it's entertaining. But we gotta wait for him to send me the replay. So, there we go. He is sent it. And it is, in fact, being downloaded. So we're gonna do a replay cast. Woo! Versus Ray. All right. StarCraft, thank you. Alright, so while we wait, we're going to go see Vespasian versus Ray, game number 1. Loading into it right now. This is a fun little replay cast just because we're waiting for lobbies to finish. And spawning in the bottom left, in the orange, for CT6, it is Vespasian. And in the upper right, in the pink, also for CT6, a team kill as old as time, it is Ray. Now, this is going to be a fun matchup because both players do not believe in building their buildings inside of their bases. In fact, they believe, more importantly, that the more interesting places that their opponent's buildings can be placed, the more fun they have and the more fun their players have. It's a probe. The tilt weapon, in fact. So we have Vespasian going for a Reaper. And also blocking off the prospective 4th base of Vespasian, or of Ray. Because this game is truly going to go to 5-base territory. No, this game's not going to 5-base territory. Anyway, we have a gate being built in Ray's main base, which is already confusing. And we have a worker. Okay, no worker fight. So what do we got here? The proxy Reaper is just about done. Ray saying, you know what? If you can proxy, I can proxy something too. Where is he going? I don't know. We're just gonna have to find out. Oh, there it is. Proxying something right there. This reads to be proxy Stargate. But I don't know. Now we have bunker on the way in the main base, and the whole zealot ring around the rosy with the SCV, and Zealot's like, you know what? If you're gonna do that, I'm just gonna kill your bunker, man. And we do have the Reaper on the way and Marine behind it. Now Reapers have infinite micro ability against a zealot, but there's another Stalker on the way. 2 shield batteries, and Vespasian is handling this just fine. Now, the Zealot really is out here. The Zealot is out here to die. Oh, he's gonna get that. He's gonna prevent the bunker again. That's nice. Zealot is really out there to die to make sure that there's enough time for the Stalker to get out without the Reaper doing anything too consequential. So on the other side of the map, the pylon is down. What is Ray gonna build? Who knows? He's busy microing the Reaper on the other side of the map. Back in his home base. Ah, proxy Stargate, you say? Well, that seems fun. Now the Marine's going to go down. Reaper is not going to go down, and we have proxy Marauders behind this. Ho ho! Proxy Marauder siege tank with a starport. So it's going to be like a Marauder siege tank push, I guess. You know, at this it is impossible trying to guess what's going to happen here. And this is going to be because Ray and Vespasian have been driven so mad by living in Canada that their understanding of how the game should be played, or is optimally played, or even just what is even happening in the game, is so flawed by that Canadian insanity that me trying to analyze what their build looks like or what it's going to be, well, it's a lost cause. Alright, Adept going to go down. Going to try to take care of this Reaper. Now, Adept beats Reapers, so... Actually, there's not a world where the Reaper should get away, except for this one, apparently, because Vespasian forgot to shade. And we have an Oracle moving in to the main base. And considering the lack of barracks in Vespasian's main base, we do have an Oracle coming out. Now, that being said, there are Cyclones, and Cyclones handle Oracles pretty fast, but this Cyclone is, in fact, out of position. And the Oracle is going to get a fairly significant amount of damage done. Gotta flee the lock-on, though. You know, only 3 workers for the Proxy Oracle. Not the most exciting. Meanwhile, Marauder is able to kill the Adept. And we have a Void Ray on the way. Proxy Void Rays. 3 Stalkers. You gotta run into the main as the Cyclones move across the map. Let's see, so this Marauder able to get a Stalker, but the other Marauder has died. The Marauder didn't die. How did this Marauder heal up? Oh, there we go. That's where it is. A couple Stalkers being built and rebuilt. Okay, so Marauders going down. And actually, Vespasian is a pretty good spot to, or Ray's in a pretty good spot to hold this. Now, Chad Ray being not being used for a proxy, but instead just being used to go on the defensive, as we have a couple more Stalkers rolling in. A Void Ray as well. And Vespasian doing a pretty good job of microing this, but there's only so much you can do, because that's a decent amount of burst damage. And Vespasian, with the Mass Cyclone, is running home. Apologize for putting this up for a second. I just need to check chat channels. Okay. Okay, so nothing there. Just making sure I'm not missing anything, as it's hard to admin and cast at the same time. Okay, so Mabadi went 2-0 over M. Von Lipwig, so there is that. So we have Stalkers and Void Rays running up, trying to... Actually, these fully charged Void Rays annihilate the Cyclones here. Now this Viking does need to be dealt with at some point. Viking going down, Cyclones being kited back, and one Void Ray does go down, but the second's still alive, and the Stalker Void Ray is doing damage. Anything on the other side of the map that I'm missing? No, there is not. And the kite commences. Now, Cyclone's out of lock-on. Okay, there's one more lock-on. And the recall happens, and now, 24 workers to 17, Ray takes an economy lead on, well, on one base. Alright. So. Alright, so the barracks was in fact killed, and we have a 4 Cyclone, one Viking hit squad across the map with a couple of SCVs to repair things, and another Cyclone on the way. Ray actually building a natural, which seems antithetical to his very nature. And he's going to try his darndest to hold this rather scary all-in. Because, yeah, Vespasian is still all-in. He's going to cancel the shield batteries, realize they're not going to be up in time, and just going to have to retreat to the high ground. Shield battery overcharge, going to instantly heal up this Void Ray as we have more Stalkers being warped in. And the 2 Chad Rays are going to actually annihilate this force. And we have Vespasian running across the map. He went one way. He went the other way. And he's now going back to Ray. But this time he's going to heal up his Cyclones just a little. More Void Rays on the way. An Immortal on the way as well, which... I mean, ideally he just has Zealot charge here, but there's no Twilight. And there's no money for it, so that's fine. And we have 5 Cyclones with their own little personal healers versus 1 Stalker. But actually that's fine because it eats 2 lock-ons. And another Viking. Vikings produced one at a time. The Nexus once again canceled. Probes dying in their 3s and their 4s. Where's the Immortal? We have more Void Rays on the way. And the trick really here is the Vespasian is just going to kite back. It's hard for Ray to get onto him, but every time he's just able to fire, that's another Cyclone dead. So we have 5 Cyclones versus an Immortal and 2 Void Rays and 7 Stalkers. But the Phoenix, or the no, Ray. This game is one base or die. You don't get to it naturally. So it's 2 Void Rays, an Immortal, a bunch of Stalkers versus a pure Cyclone. With proper micro, the Cyclones can win this game. And we have the final SCV pull. This game is, in fact, going to be won right here. Not at all for Vespasian. As his Voids come, his Cyclones move in from the right. Ray going to scout this, Vespasian doing a good job only selling or only using 1 lock on at the moment, but the Immortal, the 2 Void Rays are doing a number on these Cyclones. Although this looks like the Void Ray finally going down, but I don't know if that's enough. Well, you know, no more Void Rays in production. Just okay. So we have more Cyclones now. We're gonna look at the unit count here, but that's all that matters. Okay, so the natural is complete now, and 4 Cyclones being produced. Although whether this natural is going to complete is a different story. Alright, so 2 Immortals, a bunch of Stalkers. They should be able to clean this up, and with it, the game. Not even going to be able to get the Nexus. Vespasian in dire straits. Although, or again, if you look at the economy here, there's not much of a difference. But anyway, the Concave is there. Ray fighting back with all of his might, and Vespasian, not long for this world. 14 army supply to 12. And he backs up. All backs up. Healing up once again with Vespasian's pitifully poor economy. Ray, also lacking many workers, but able to mine from his natural. Finally, the natural that finally got up. And there we have it. Vespasian in for one last hurrah with 3 Cyclones and a siege tank. They won't expect the siege tank. So, Vespasian in for the last hurrah. Three Cyclones, 1 SCV, and a siege tank, all getting ready. And actually, the tank's going to be able to get a shot off before anything happens. But Cyclones getting blown up by Immortals, tank getting blown up by Immortals, and this is it. GG. Vespasian taking, or Ray taking it, and although Vespasian did in fact take the series later on. So, what do we got? I'm back. Alright, so now we got actual live games. Mabadi versus Iron Lung. TVP. Poor Mabadi. It is late in his time. Versus, let's see, Swarm. Iron Lung. All right. First game is going to be on Everdream. An exciting map, a wonderful map, a map that has been in the ladder pool for like forever. But that's fine because it is well. It's well mapped out. So it's a good map to start a series on. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom left, in the green. Wow, for Team Unrivaled, it is Mabadi. And in the upper right, in the blue, presenting SC2 Swarm, it is Iron Lung. Of course, the question is how many buildings will be built in the players' bases and how many buildings will be built in the opponent's bases, because they're both talking about cheese here. Mabadi, it is like 5 a.m. his time or something ridiculous like that. He stayed up for this, which I really appreciate. All right, it is a Reaper expand. If anything's going to be weird, it's not going to be... it's not going to be early on. That's not to say there's going to be proxy starport, proxy whatever, we don't know, but it's not going to be for the first couple buildings. These are some just standard expand timings. Gate into Cybercore. Although I believe it's gate, generally you go gate expand. Here. Probe just doing little probey things, trying to be annoying, and actually losing most of its health. Not getting quite out in time, which makes its, the denial of the natural a little more difficult. We have a natural nexus going down, and actually, Iron Lung's going to lose the probe, which is not what you want. Means you're going to lose any chance of a second tier scout going in. Reaper on the way for Mabadi. So that's his scouting, or his second level of scouting. SCV is going to go into the main. He's going to see where the pylon is. Going to see that there, I believe he saw that there was gas. Yeah, did not check the gas. Second gas on the way as well. So Iron Lung looking for maybe a little bit more tech than some sort of large gateway explosion early. So all what I'm saying here is this game is not going to be as cheesy as they have been trying to pretend it's going to be. Both players going for a little more tech heavy, a little more mid-game focused play. Say, hey, this series will be fun. No, you. Okay. The banter is there. So we have a Twilight Council coming in for Iron Lung here. That will be immediately scouted. Reaper says, aha! I am wise to your tricks. I don't believe in that. Meanwhile, there is a probe. The second probe sent out just to prevent the creation of this orbital, or of this command center. And some nice RNG pathing means that it's not going to get done. Good job, Probe. So Probe's fighting one for one, avenging his brother. An eye for an eye, Mabadi says. But hey, that's pretty nice. The CC has been delayed significantly, but on the high ground, we have a third CC. So this is a DT rush versus 3CC. Now, should the orbital get up, this is actually fairly... should the orbital get up, this is actually fairly good for the Terran player here, as it just means he's going to have access to more scans. Now, on the flip side, he's going to have zero chance. Well, he might be able to get a Raven out. But as it stands, okay, so he lost Dep 2. As it stands, Mabadi does not really have an idea of what's happening. He saw the one gas, and he saw the Twilight, and honestly, that could be a bunch of things. It could be there's some old Adept attacks that are not all that popular, but really the meta right now is 3-gate blink. So Reaper's going to move across the map, going to run into the Warp Prism. Ah, I know what you're doing. You're building stalkers. Well, no. No, Mabadi. There are, in fact, no stalkers. And actually, he is setting up, with the Widow Mine, with everything else, he is setting up as if this is going to be stalker play. Now, the Marines are on a collision course with this Warp Prism, so if Iron Lung is not careful, he's going to lose it. Iron Lung, your Warp Prism? Oh, no! And the Warp Prism goes down, and with that, any chance of this push happening, of the Dark Templar really being effective, Dark Templar being warped in at home and sent across the map. But that is not what Iron Lung was looking for here. Not in the slightest. And this is actually disastrous for him, because if we look at the amount of... There was no... Scans were not being saved for this. There was one scan available. And although, still... With DT moving across... Okay, there are going to be 2 scans, eventually. But DT's just going to run into the third. And we have our first Widow Mine drop moving across the map. Alright, so actually there are no scans right now. No scans whatsoever. There's one, but it's in the air. And Mabadi, having seen that there is a DT in his base, he's going to be able to prevent the completion of this one evac. And Iron Lung, content with the one worker kill, he's going to back up. He didn't know that the lack of scans here. He could have done a lot. Could have at least canceled this missile turret for the end of time, but not quite aggressive enough. Meanwhile, we have a Widowmine drop running into the main base of Iron Lung. Boost running out, but he's going to drop the second. Iron Lung not reacting. Iron Lung reacting now. Good pull. And these Stalkers are just going to start shooting at this. He's going to be able to pull in the natural. Natural, good pull as well. He's going to lose... Oh, man, he just caught the tail end of that. 6 workers going down. That is unfortunate. That is not the ideal there. He almost had the pull out, but just slightly too late, or didn't pull in the right direction. So both players with their thirds established, or almost established. Widowmine going down into the probe Maynard position to eventually, I imagine. Or not. Just going to sit there, run back. Trying to get a... see if Iron Lung is checking this time. Iron Lung is. Should only get like 1 more worker. Okay, so 1 worker goes down, and then the Widowmine dying. Meanwhile, we have a bunch of Stalkers moving across the map to deal with Iron Lung's or with Mabati's expansion. Stalkers are just hitting the CC. I think they'd rather just be going here and hitting workers, to be totally honest. So we have charge done. Blink on the way. Observer going to get taken out. And these Stalkers, they're good units, but man, he could have gotten a lot more. This game thus far is really a story of opportunity cost. Iron Lung almost doing something, almost having this incredible opportunity to get a bunch of worker damage done, and just not. But wait, I'm sorry. That's not quite accurate, because the one Dark Templar runs into the natural as Iron Lung distracts in the third and gets 14 workers and pulls a bunch more. That is the damage he's looking for, and that pulls him back into this game. Now the Stalkers are going to run in. They're going to try to snipe some Widowmines, try to snipe whatever units they can. They don't have Blink yet, and that's unfortunate. And there are no Colossus. There's 1 Colossus out. 2nd Colossus on the way. So the more damage that Iron Lung is able to do here, the more poke he's able to do, really the better the story is going to be for him. The damage he actually was able to do on the Raven is also incredibly important, because it means the Raven can't be quite as gung-ho when trying to shut down the Colossus for any sort of push. So, you know, Iron Lung, as kind of bad as it looked in the early game, he's in an excellent position in this game. Storm on the way, so his 2nd level of Splash is on the way. And we have, so he's ahead in upgrades for the moment, but not any longer, as we have Mabati moving across the map for his first bit of aggression. Stalkers blinking and getting a medevac, but trading one of their own in exchange, as the Colossus is actually going to be taken out here. Colossus out of position. Now it's only 1 Colossus, and that Colossus, incredibly exposed as well. There's not really enough to buffer for it, but the pylon of the battery overcharge is helping. Widowmines taking up their pole position. And I don't think that this push should be stalled out. Although I would like to see Iron Lung get +2. Oh no, okay. He sees the Widowmine getting triggered. Alright, so trading 3 probes for it. Maybe not the most ideal, but we have DTs being warped into the natural. Oh no. There's no observer here, and the forge, the factory was just completed, or the armory was just completed. So DT in the natural, killing a bunch more workers, as the reaction is only just now started, and actually the shift click, meaning that these workers are not dying as much as you would like, but that's still 5 workers. 5 workers for a DT, pretty dang good. As Iron Lung is able to maintain the supply advantage, although the big difference you see there is by now, so he's gonna get a proxy base. Because look, I don't think you're gonna check there. So that's where I'm gonna get my 4th. Charlotte's warping in, just dealing with the Marines to prevent the warp prism from getting caught. But anyway, as I was saying, if you look at the top tier, if you look at Parting Play, for example, he's on 6 bases. He's at 5 bases at this point. He is putting on pressure, but he's expanding behind it. And you know, as much as I sing the praises of Iron Lung here, right, about how he's got himself back in the game, how killing 27 SCVs is really helping him here, or whatever, has, you know, it's nice to be able to 3rd. Losing that Colossus and, you know, taking as much damage as he did, I mean, he's down rather significantly army supply. Well, not anymore. I guess he just had to spin a warp in around. So we have the Terran scanning. Ah, yes, you're setting up for a 4th base. Nice. I'm good. I don't have to worry about it. No, dude, the fourth beast is almost done. As the overly large Terran army is going to go to the fourth, try to see whether he's able to just get rid of anything so he can take the fourth himself.